Greetings, beautiful being. Welcome to today's Movement Medicine Morsel. We're going to be focusing today on freedom and liberation in the chest, in the shoulders, and then putting this into a sun salutation-ish inspired flow. So let's begin by sitting, and we set the mood by planting our feet, feeling our sit bones in the chair, and take a moment to really feel. Let your sensory organs travel down into the soles of your feet and notice. Maybe you want to wiggle your toes. Maybe you even want to wiggle your sit bones a little bit. And when you feel connected to these places that make our foundation, just let them settle. And imagine the spine flowing effortlessly upwards. Freedom, elongation, and lightness, and the crown of the head has the ability to reach upwards to the stars, the heavens. There's no end to the possible elongation. So we've got the kind of finite quality of being connected to the ground, although we can also imagine roots going below the surface of the earth, but we feel the surface of the ground and the chair seat, don't we? But in terms of, unless we got our head touching the ceiling, we have the ability to continue to rise. So that sets up our posture and our foundation. And let's take a moment to feel ourselves as we are, as we also begin to notice our breath. And we're not trying to fix or change anything. We're simply settling into what is, and letting any of the background noise fade, and in fact letting it go into the background, and coming into our first person sensed experience right now. And maybe this already creates a form of a shift for you. And just check in, just keep checking in every once in a while and see how you're feeling. You might even want to rest your hands on your low belly and feel your low belly expanding as you inhale. And this doesn't have to be forced, it can be very subtle. And the belly gently relaxing back inwards as you exhale. But we're keeping the spine nice and soft and elongated at the moment, so this is a shift in the volume of our bodies and without disturbing that lovely sense of suspension and rooting. Now, since we're going to be focusing a little bit extra on the shoulders and the upper body for today's flow, let's actually bring our hands to the chest and sense the movement, the natural organic movement in the chest and the lungs as we inhale and exhale. And then let the hands rest in your lap, and let's inhale the shoulders gently up. Imagine you're lifting from the armpits, and let the shoulder girdle gently melt. And this is done softly, smoothly. No need to overdo. We're looking for the quality of ease and freedom, and letting things melt slowly and letting them really rest at the bottom. Let's do one more of those. Inhaling and exhaling and relaxing. I'm going to move back a little bit, and we're going to do a bit with the shoulders themselves. That was actually shoulder girdle movement. So maybe you sensed your shoulder blades sliding up and down. So now I'm going to stand up so you can see my hand, but you can continue sitting. The palm is forward on the inhalation, and on the exhalation, rotate the palms to face back. And inhale, gently rotate the palms to face forward. And exhale, rotate the palms to face back, and see if you can track this movement all the way into your upper arm and maybe even into your collarbones and shoulder blades. Very subtle, yet extremely profound and meaningful. So these are rotations of the shoulders, but also including the whole arm. Excellent. Now we're going to bring our spines into it a little bit because of course everything's interconnected. And once again, I'm going to turn sideways. We still have our lovely tall spine, and we want to keep it tall as though we've got a bungee cord attached to the head, and think of the back of your waistband. And exhale, that moves back and it curves your whole spine. And as you inhale, the small of the waist goes forward, and keep rocking. Maybe you notice the rocking of your sit bones. You're rolling on the sit bones. You can have your hands on your hips as you feel this, perhaps. And get a nice sense of ease and freedom. Feel how the waistline and the sit bones are connected through the pelvis, and maybe there's a nice response in the upper body. Now let's add that last piece with the shoulders. I'll pause for a moment and just feel into this, how that feels for your spine. And we're going to turn our hands so the backs of the hands are going to press forward as we exhale. And here the shoulders are rounded. And turn the palms up and inhale, drawing the elbows back gently. Exhale, the backs of the hands lead as we roll back. And inhale, the palms are up and the elbows lead back. And so here we've got a nice movement of the shoulder girdle and the shoulders. We're getting those rotations. And we're starting to get into composite joint movements. So we've got the spine, we've got the pelvis, the hips, and maybe this movement feels quite delicious. And what's happening with your neck? Keep things free. You can make the movements quite small, exhaling like a little seaweed waving in the ocean. And we're going to start taking this movement a little bit bigger, but I'm going to come and stand up for this. Actually, we'll do one more seated, and I'll slide over to the side because we feature one side at a time for this. This is my favorite short, multitasking, fabulous result movements. Great for shoulder, neck, breast tissue circulation, and like all of the movements that I'm sharing with you in these episodes can be done on a spectrum from small range of motion to full range of motion. Whatever is comfortable. We're always looking for ease and comfort because the slow way is the fast way. If you want to get full range of motion or recover that if you've been injured, you're not going to get there by pushing yourself. You're going to get there from cultivating ease and freedom and then gently, patiently building from that and being happy with the ease and the freedom. So here we are nice and tall. We're going to think of a paintbrush on the elbow. Exhale, dip down. Inhale, the elbow creates an arc. Your cheek and face follow as they're able, and then you circle back and around. Inhale, and you get this, you want this beautiful spiral in the throat. And if you like, maybe that elbow paintbrush really reaches up. But it's also beautiful if the elbow paintbrush stays low. Don't let your mind judge this movement saying that one version of it is better or worse than another, because that kind of tightening of the mind creates tightening in the body. Remember, we're not separate, mind, body. It's all connected. And let's maybe do one more, or maybe you've had enough and you have stopped already. That's fine too. So now notice, how does that arm feel and what does it feel like to move it? And try some of those other movements we did where the shoulder goes up and down, rolls forward and back. And then see, how does the other arm feel? Does it feel the same? Does it feel different? Is it excited about doing this warm-up movement itself? So let's get ready. And it might feel a little bit different on the second side. And we still want to follow the instructions of go smoothly, go for ease and pleasure, and be curious. Take it slow so you can really feel more. So the elbow is the paintbrush, and exhale, the elbow dips into the ink or the paint, and inhale comes up and around with the face following and allowing your spine to indulge in some amount of rotation. And you're listening to your body and you're playing with the stroke, the size of the stroke that is absolutely liberating for you today, whether it's a small circle on the floor but still including all of you. And if something feels comfortable, you may want to venture into expanding another 1/2 centimeter or 1/2 inch, and just see how it is. And if you feel any discomfort or you're not sure, rein it back in a little bit. Take it back to a place that you're happy, so you end up with a note, you end up on a note of sweetness and joy. And let that be. Let that be, check that out. See how all of that feels, and maybe play with your fingers a little bit, stroke the air, circle your wrists, and again, take it slow. Feel each of the fingers and maybe shake them a little bit. Now, the last part, I'm going to model standing up. You can join me standing, or it works really nicely on a chair as well. You just listen to your body and you make it the appropriate shape and size that gives you freedom and delight. Because how does it get better than that? Doesn't get better than that. Doesn't get better than that if you go bigger or you try to do what someone else is doing or what you think you should be doing. There's a wisdom inside that knows exactly, and we're trying to listen. We're learning how to listen to that internal voice. And this applies to dance, to yoga, to qigong, to anything you're doing. So it's a strategy that even goes with walking, driving, reaching for something off a high kitchen shelf. So let's come to standing or sit and coming to a lovely vertical alignment. Crown of the head rising up, tailbone, sit bones, and feet reaching down, and feel your feet. And let's bend the knees, bend and press the ground to straighten. So we're feeling the energy of the earth. Press down to come up. Press down, so you're lowering down, and then you press the feet to come up. And now as you bend your knees, round your back and brush the hands through. And inhale, straightening the legs and drawing the elbows back. Exhale, curving round. Inhale, rotating the hands. And let's do a couple more of these. If you're sitting in the chair, you can press down with the feet, but you'll be feeling more in the trunk than in the legs, most likely. And if you're standing, you can do this to your heart's content. Now, let's play a little bit more. Exhale, coming forward. You can lift the elbows, circle the arms around, and inhale, coming back. So exhale, elbows circle through. Inhale, elbows pull you back. So there's a quarter circle or a half a circle of the hands coming around. Exhale, forwards. Inhale, receive. You can make it even bigger. Exhale, round forwards, coming up, and inhale, elbows take you back. Exhale, rounding through. Inhale, opening. So here we get possibility of even more freedom in the chest, and moving slowly helps us ascertain what is the right range of motion. So I'm making it a little bit smaller so that you can see that it doesn't have to be that big, but we're getting this lovely rotation of the arms and the hands. So we'll just pretend with the elbow a little bit. You can lightly touch the top of the upper arm and simply take your hand around in a circle. And just for fun, do that a few times in the opposite direction, making it pleasant and flowing. And then let's do that with the other side. You can shake that out. So we're lightly touching just above the elbow more or less keeping the upper arm in place, but you'll notice under the fingers that there's a rotation in the upper arm because this elbow circle doesn't happen without the shoulder. And then go a few times in the opposite direction. And see if you can even track the movement up into your shoulder. So as we brush the hands through, here comes that circle. Exhale, backs of the hands and elbows. We circle the hands out. And see if this gives you more freedom, having taken that extra little step. And now, if anybody wants to grow it a little bit bigger, you can play from here. And this is where I indicated that this is inspired a bit by sun salutation, because here we are, we're curling in like a seed. And inhale, we're receiving the sun and the sun's blessing, the warmth, the light. We're growing. We're welcoming the sun, we're grateful for the sun, and those are the inner experiences that we bring to a sun salutation in yoga. And let's do one more. Exhaling, inhaling, let yourself receive, and exhaling, bring yourself to sitting or standing nice and tall. Let the arms and the fingers hang quietly. Maybe turn your head very gently from side to side. Notice what you feel in your upper body, what you feel in your whole being. And let's finish today by resting one hand over the lungs or the heart center and one hand over the low belly. Of course, you can do whatever you prefer, of course. And just let yourself settle. Notice your breath. Notice your mood. Has anything changed in how the breath flows through your lung region and your chest? And then finally, rest both hands down over the low belly and feel yourself in your legs and in your feet, connected to the earth, and still having a little bit of that floating up and rising feeling through your spine. And if you feel a shift in any way, enjoy it, take it with you for the rest of your day. And if you feel like dropping a line into the comments box, I always love to hear from you. And many blessings to you. I feel better. I got more breath in through the chest. I feel ready for my day. This is morning for me. You might be watching this in a whole other time zone or at a whole other time. So please enjoy, and many blessings. Keep smiling, keep breathing, and keep looking for ease and joy in whatever you're doing. And we'll see you next time.